Hello and welcome to Pitch Black 2016, the Royal Australian Air Force's premier international exercise. This year, we expect a dozen nations and more than 110 aircraft to join us here in Australia, with 2,500 personnel testing their air power skills across the entire Northern Territory. We'll be bringing you stories about the people, the platforms, and what it takes to succeed in the Air Force's most complex air combat exercise, one that allows us to practice in a multinational simulated war environment. But before we take flight, let's cross to Flight Lieutenant Eamon Hamilton to brief us on what an exercise entails and why the Air Force places so much importance on them.
So what is an air exercise? Exercises like Pitch Black provide our Air Force and foreign militaries with great training opportunities. It's a chance to test operational air and ground crews to the highest level. These exercises reinforce the strong relationship Australia has with other participant nations and the high value we have on regional security and our ties throughout the Asia Pacific and beyond. This is a fight between Red Force, based in Tyndall, some 300 kilometres to the south, and Blue Force, based here in Darwin. This will test our air defence systems against an airborne aggressor, as well as develop how Australian and Allied forces operate together. The mission scenarios will progressively become larger and more complicated through the course of the exercise, requiring mission commanders to factor in a variety of air combat roles. Some of the roles practiced during exercise Pitch Black include air-to-air combat, air-to-ground attack, command and control, air-to-air refuelling, and tactical air transport. Geographically, the Northern Territory is ideally placed for exercise Pitch Black participants to bring together large formations of aircraft to conduct complex air operations. And when Red and Blue have finished their battle, it is estimated that exercise Pitch Black will have injected around $25 million into the local economy, including money spent by participants while visiting the Northern Territory and experiencing everything that the top end has to offer.
Thanks, Eamon. Exercise Pitch Black started back in the 1980s and provides us with an invaluable opportunity to strengthen ties with our international friends. Let's run you through the history of Pitch Black with a man who knows it all too well, one of our most experienced officers, Air Commodore Rick Owen.
Pitch Black's been running for well over 30 years. In the early 80s as an air defence type exercise on the East Coast, and then it's grown from there into what we see now in Pitch Black 16. If I reflected back into the early 80s when I was flying F-111s into Pitch Black, I was very focused on just getting the mission done in terms of that day, that mission, that F-111, getting those bombs on the target. And I guess I asked the air crew and the people that are coming over nowadays, it's more about the system, it's more about how you integrate into a complex environment. Pitch Black has grown up as the Air Force has grown up. As we've taken on new capabilities, Pitch Black itself has changed to incorporate those new capabilities. I look at Pitch Black now as very different to when I was flying in it first in Canberras and then in F-111s. Then it was much more focused on your individual skills as aircrew flying in an air defence type activity. These days we've got eyes in the sky with our airborne early warning aircraft, the Wedgetail. We have the ability to take on fuel in the sky now with our KC-30 tankers. And we have much more complex ground environment as well. So we're looking at using unmanned aerial vehicles in Pitch Black 16, for example, with the Heron. Now the Heron is an unmanned aerial vehicle that allows us to put eyes in the sky and actually develop a much more clearer tactical picture for when we do our operations. We're taking individual skills, combining them into a complex air environment and seeing how they match up. Pitch Black offers an opportunity for the overseas participants to exercise in a huge area. a massive area. So they have airspace that they can play in and fight in and enjoy without the confines that they normally have say in Europe or in Southeast Asia. So that's the first thing. And I think the other thing that the Australians will bring is a sense of mateship. It's a sense of we're all in this together, so let's talk about things, let's get it right, let's learn and then apply, and then learn and then apply again.
We've got a couple of Su-27s.
I guess if I look back on the flying I've done in pitch black, I was incredibly focused. It was incredibly focused on getting the job done, the mission at the time. And you tended to treat the other elements of that they were just part of supporting you as that aircrew in the F-111. And I guess these days I would ask that every participant understand that you're all part of a team, you're all part of a bigger team, that unless we work together cohesively, we aren't going to be successful. Pitch Black's grown up in the Northern Territory, and we now feel part of the Northern Territory community, and we appreciate the support that we get from that community. And I guess in many ways we hope that the community understands and appreciates the benefits that we bring as part of Pitch Black to the Northern Territory in terms of financial benefits and economic benefits within that community. What I'd like to see out of Pitch Black for the Air Force and the public perception of the Air Force, I just want them to be proud of us. We're celebrating 100 years in 2021, and this Air Force has grown over that 100 years, and it's developed into a very capable combat force. And I just like the people of Australia to be proud of what we're doing, see what we're doing, and understand we have some of the best people in the world in your Air Force.
There'll be a number of opportunities for the Darwin community to interact with Pitch Black. The Mindil Beach aerial display is scheduled for the 11th of August. It's been expanded this year with more aircraft and the addition of jets from some of our international partners. The Pitch Black Open Day always draws a huge crowd and provides a chance for the public to see aircraft up close and talk to participants about the exercise. This year the Open Day will be on the 13th of August. If you want information on the exercise and our flying times, then you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or go to our Pitch Black 2016 website, airforce.gov.au/pitchblack16.